All right, so using wide to telephoto lenses, prime lenses. This is a 14 millimeter. You can see it's kind of distorted in the way it views. Lots of detail in the background. The 24, also wide angle, does have the same amount of detail or similar amounts of detail in the background, but it doesn't have the distortion when you pan left and right. The 35 is a normal on a crop sensor. Again, you're starting to get shallow depth of field, but not too much, and it looks pretty good. 50 millimeter, again, normal lens. Environment looks normal, the space looks normal, it feels more normal. 85 compresses the space, puts you right in people's faces. It's one of my favorite lenses for doing over-the-shoulder shots, real intimate personal shots. Wide angle, telephoto, right? Wide angle, telephoto. See the difference in the background? Radical. Here's a Revenant film with a 14 millimeter, and Chivo, the cinematographer, really uses and made it okay to use these lenses, which way distort things. See how big his shoulder is on this? And he pulls back, but you can see him in relationship to the Indians. He also used the same kind of approach in Birdman, maybe more of a 24 millimeter here, but still a fairly wide shot, camera moving around, continuous shooting. Really setting up the scene so there's light everywhere, the scene's happening everywhere. Now he comes in close. Now, in here, the room, it was all 85 and 50s, really tight, close lenses. Look at the background. There's no environment showing. The reason for that, it's a story about a mother and a boy who are trapped in a room because she's a slave of the man who owns the house. And she has this little 8x10 room or something. So if you show that with a wide angle lens, it'll show too much detail. By focusing on their faces and the emotional content and the boy arguing back at her, it gets a much more powerful story and much more engaged, and the room disappears, as you can see here, with shallow depth of field. So this next one, Mission Impossible, is a range from 24 to 85. Here's a 24 wide angle. The wide angle sets environment and shows you the whole world, these low angles. He sees the assassin going up the stairs. Wide angle again. But then telephoto, look at that compression through space and the pull shot onto the weapon being put together. Now a wide shot again to show environment and setting. So in this one, they go back and forth, wide shot, telephoto. With telephoto right here, right? Very much detail oriented and very much all about the weapon that she's pulling out. See the gun's now more wide, not quite as wide, but the camera moving with him. So you can see why you choose different lenses and why they're more appropriate. Here with American Sniper, I think the lenses are all 35 and 50s. They're not trying to compress the space, but they are trying to put it a little bit out of focus. And a normal lens feels more like your normal eye. You know, we're focused on him. He's come home from the war, but he hasn't come home to his house. He's sitting in a bar 6 blocks away. And he calls his wife and she's wondering why. And that's why the normal lenses are so powerful for the emotional content. You can see the environments they're both in, but you're not killed by them. It's not all about the environment. Now here's Dallas Buyers Club. Same thing, 35 to 50s, but now the camera's pulled back further and you see more of the environment. It's more about seeing the world that is there and kind of getting some idea about it. By using these normal lenses, you're really setting an environment for the characters and you kind of get their relationship. But see, when you pull focus between the characters, it's not a huge space. You're not making gaps between everybody. The lenses are making it feel like this is normal times. So wide angle, lots of detail in the back, lots of focus, field of focus, distortion when you pan. Telephoto. 24 millimeter, still wide, but not as much distortion and still a little bit shallower depth of field. Throw it into the 35 millimeter. Now it's more of a normal lens on a crop sensor, which this camera is. So it's a normal kind of the way your eye sees the world, the relationships your eye sees. And then we go to the 50 millimeter, which is a normal on a full-size sensor, 35 millimeter sensor. Very nice shallow bokeh behind. And then with the 85, we have a very good bokeh and very nice shallow depth of field, very low distortion. I like this lens for intimate shots. Enjoy and take care.